Well, hello everyone and welcome back. I have settled down with a cup of tea, and do you know what? It might be spring in the UK at the moment, and we are, we're a week into April, but it's still really cold. So I'm in my sort of slightly vintage style cardigan here, courtesy of Marks and Spencer's, and then an actual vintage brooch. And I'm cold, so I've got a hot cup of tea, and I thought I would start to share with you all of my goals and things for my online businesses and for my finances. Just share with you all of my plans and goals and things for Q2 of 2023. So I have added everything to a spreadsheet. This might not be the way that I always present my goals to you. It's just what I've come up with for now, because I wanted to get a quarterly overview, a 12-week overview, and I wanted to focus on 3 different things. And then as my planning and goal setting evolves, I might change the way that I do this. What I will do though is I will put sections of that spreadsheet on screen somewhere for you so that you can kind of see what I'm referring to. So here we go then. My overall goals for the whole of the quarter are: number 1, to rebrand and refocus this YouTube channel. The second one is to establish a multifaceted decorative paper business. And the third one is to review and reorganize my finances. Just in general, I need to do a really big check-in with my money. And what I'll do is I'll give you like an overview of what I'm going to be doing, and then I might make a separate video about that if that is of interest to people. If it is, drop me a note in the comments about it. So let's start then with the first one here, rebranding the YouTube channel. So those of you that have watched me forever, since I don't know when, 2018, 2019, something along those lines. If you've watched me since the beginning, you'll know, as I've mentioned before, that this used to be a reselling channel that was primarily, I'd say like 90% focused on eBay. And then towards the end of that period of time where I was running it, I did experiment a little bit with some different types of video, but I just ended up, I just wasn't happy. I wasn't making videos about the things that I wanted to make videos about in a way that I was comfortable with. And to be honest, I hadn't got it set up so that it was bringing in enough of an income for it to match the amount of just hours and the amount of time that I was putting into it. And one of my sort of big problems with it was a really kind of practical one, that some of my most popular videos were charity shop hauls, and I used to just talk through all the different things that I'd found to put in my shop, which was fantastic. But I kind of needed to do one of those almost every week, and I'd be bringing so much stuff into my house, and it was more than I could get listed and stay on top of. And I just, by the end of that period of time, I felt like everything was just in an utter mess. And I mean, like, my head was in a mess. I wasn't enjoying my work. I wasn't approaching my reselling work in the way that was right for me. And I just had literal mess everywhere. I just had stuff everywhere. And, my house is already bursting at the seams, full of, like almost 20 years worth of accumulated junk between me and my other half. I mean, it's just, no. So all of that ended, and I took a massive long break from it. And I've come back now, and I'm different because, some time has passed, and I feel different, and I want the channel to reflect that. There are still some elements that are the same, my personality and character hasn't really changed. It's still the same. So that's not really what's different. What I want to make sure that I do though is I want to sort of focus down onto maybe 2 or 3 key areas. One of them is definitely going to be work from home vlogs. So just me vlogging the day-to-day of building income streams and so on. It was something that I did a bit of previously, years ago, and it's something that I'm really pleased that I have brought back into this channel. I'm not here to try and make my channel, how should I put it, like blow up. I'm not looking for 100,000 followers and things like that. That's not quite my purpose behind the channel. And I think actually that's something that I need to be a lot clearer about. My purpose for the channel, the types of thing I'm going to focus on, and then also just some really sort of simple things like I want to switch up my brand colours and typefaces, styles of thumbnail. If you look back at what I've done over the last year, you can see that I've experimented a lot with slightly different styles, trying to figure out what I like, what I don't like, what converts into views, what doesn't convert into views, all of that type of thing. So I'd like to settle on brand colours, style. I want to redesign my logo. I was thinking of renaming this channel because there was a lot of confusion between the YouTube algorithm was recommending my business channel and business videos to people who were watching or looking for allotment stuff, because my other channel is about allotment and my gardening. And so it was all getting a little bit mixed up, and I kind of thought, oh, this is crazy. I need to change the name of this channel here. But then someone left me a comment saying that they'd come here from my gardening channel. They were actually really interested in what I was doing because they wanted to make money online as well. And I thought, I'd always thought of it in a negative way, but actually there could be a bit of almost like cross-pollination that's going on between the two of them ever so slightly. So I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that. I think it might end up being a name tweak rather than a name change. It all needs looking at. This is what I mean. It all needs looking at and it all needs sorting. I need a different like channel description, channel banner, some thumbnail templates. I need to add some affiliate links into my description. I need to sign up for some affiliate programs. The fact that I've been using Canva for years and the Canva Pro kind of version, and I still don't have an affiliate link in my description. I mean, this is part of it. I need to professionalize this channel. It's all right if the gardening one is a bit scrappy, and you know, it's me. It's always going to be a bit scrappy, but at the same time, if I'm saying that actually this time around I want the channel to basically pay its way, I need to do things like that. I need to pay more attention to sticking affiliate links into my description. And then I've put on here that I want to try and release about 6 videos in April. Got plenty of ideas for them. It's just a question of getting them planned and kind of sat down and recorded and all the rest of it. Those are the elements of it that I want to get done in April. And also I've put here, establish a community off YouTube, which I have been thinking about, and I think I've come up with a solution with an idea, and it's not because I'm not interested in Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, I need to get that set up, and then I will talk to you all about it and invite you to come and hang out with me off YouTube. So let's move on to the second one then. We have got establish a multifaceted decorative paper business. So this is where one of my KDP pen names has taken off a little bit, not loads, but enough for me to think actually I need to build on this. Those of you that have watched my KDP income report will be aware of some of these things that I'm about to talk about, but really it's a case of taking like this decorative paper idea as like the core thing, and then having the patterns, like the seamless patterns that I create, having them in scrapbook paper books, like physical books on KDP, have them as printables on Etsy, have the repeating patterns on products on Redbubble and various other print on demand platforms, and then building up a mailing list. And then there's some other things that I'm thinking of as well, depending on whether those things take off enough. I can think of other ways of kind of expanding it, but I don't even want to think about that at the moment because I've got kind of like this first layer of stuff to sort out. So that's kind of what I'm working towards, and I want to try and get as much of that done as possible in April and May of this year. And then in terms of, so what have we got? Review and reorganize my finances. I want to visit all of my accounts, basically go and check in with what I've got, essentially like review my net worth. So when I say that, I mean I can work out what like my share of this house is worth. We can kind of work out what my, or not work out, but you know, like look at what my pension is worth, look at savings, look at investments. I think that's probably it for me. You know, and even just things like valuable stuff I own. Have I got anything of value? And just kind of calculate, how am I doing overall in life, you know? Check to see what's going on in those accounts and add everything up and just pay attention to where things are. I feel like for the last, you know, 2.5 to 3 years now, ever since the, you know, global health crisis that we were all part of, you know, ever since that, I feel like so many things fell apart that I really want to get back on top of things, and I want to figure out what my kind of short, medium and long-term goals are and stuff like that. And it's really difficult to set those sorts of goals when you don't know where you are right now. So it's a process of taking stock. That's what I want to do in April. I want to start budgeting properly again. Now, when I say budgeting monthly, basically I set myself a budget and it's essentially the same thing every month. So like, it's not like it constantly changes because I have set amounts that come out every month. And in fact, those were some videos that I experimented with before on this channel, and I absolutely hated it because it was basically rinse and repeat every single month, because like nothing particularly changes. The thing that I want to do though is set out, I need to go and check how much all the bills are again, because it's April and a lot of things have gone up. Add up everything that comes out of the joint account, double check everything that's coming out of my personal account for my personal expenses. You know, come up with a proper budget, one that's going to last me month after month, and then one where I've basically got space every month where I can jot down different events and different things that are coming up that I have to pay for, so that I can sort of plan ahead a lot better. I don't think I'm explaining it particularly well, but I know what I want and need in my head. And then I thought, because I've got KDP, I can turn it into a little book, and I can tailor it to, what I need and what works for me. So setting out my budget and sorting out a budgeting book that I can use, you know, month on month. I've talked about reviewing bill payments, calculating new totals. My budget for April, May and June is basically going to be £800 a month, which is just shy of $1,000 noted down here. So I was trying to work out what the numbers were that I wrote down. It's like, oh my goodness, Mel, you only wrote these down a few days ago. So yeah, so £800 a month is what I'm going to take from any of my business earnings. So it'll be £600 from my reselling, £100 from YouTube, £100 will be coming in from miscellaneous income streams. So there'll be some from KDP, some from Redbubble, can't even think what else I've got, but that's where the other £100 will come from. Yeah, anything I earn over that £800, it just stays in my business account, because one of the things that is causing me problems in terms of consistency and inconsistency with my self-employed income is that every month I just pay myself whatever my profit is, which is just crazy. It's just so stupid. It does not work for me. I need a set amount every month so I know what's going on. Part of my plan, which when I make the separate video I will go into, is that for April, May and June I will be taking £800 from my business account on each of those 3 months, and that's it. And if I earn over that, and I say if, I will earn over that now that I've got YouTube income up and running. I hit the exam marking in June, you know, I will get that amount of money. I'm just taking a set amount because I'm not faffing around anymore. I want to do this properly, and the very best that I was with my income was when I was budgeting with a set amount of money coming in, and I need to find a way of mimicking that even though I'm self-employed, and this is where I have been going wrong. Anyway, I'm I'm going into what's going to be the separate video, so tune in for that if you're interested. And yeah, I've got these, I talked about doing this last quarter, but because last month worried me so much in terms of my income, I didn't actually go ahead and increase these payments. So I have a standing order that goes into a LISA, which is sort of semi-investment, semi-pension. It has a tax relief wrapper around it. It's an account that's peculiar to the UK, but I wanted to increase my payment to £25, so about $31 into that account, and I haven't gone on and done it yet, but I will do that this month. And then I have some savings to pay back to myself that I wanted to get started at £50 a month, which again, didn't feel that it was the right time to do that last month, but this month I will be doing that. And then finally, I have this little miscellaneous category, which is just a few little number targets and some reminders. So my reinvest at least £150 into stock for eBay and Etsy. That's more of a reminder. I always used to invest that kind of amount of money. And then again, I take my eye off the ball and I start kind of going all over the place, and I end up with a half empty shop and wonder why I'm not making very much money. So for me, about £150 to £200 is a really good amount to, you know, reinvest from my reselling profits, and it kind of keeps the business ticking over. So this is just a reminder, it's just a note to make sure I do it. And I think so far I've reinvested about 60, and it needs to be more than that. I've put on here to get to 100 listings on Etsy. So this Etsy shop is my vintage jewellery and dressing table trinkets kind of shop. I think I'm on about 77 maybe listings, something along that line. So I basically need to get like another 20 odd listings on there. I have had a couple of sales on Etsy this month already, which has been really promising. So yeah, 20 odd items on there. And then this idea of getting my listings on eBay back up to 500. When I wrote this, it didn't seem impossible, but I have since cleared out a load of stuff that has sat there for over a year and hasn't sold. I've tried dropping that price, I've tried doing all sorts of things with it. So I've actually removed that from the shop because it, you know, it's costing me money every month to have it in there. Definitely decluttering my own stuff on Vinted because I've got rid of so many things already. I think I've made about £26 in the space of a week, just chucking stuff on there. Bits of clothing, bits of old costume jewellery that was my own. I went through a bit of a phase in the early 2000s, I think it must have been, when I could suddenly afford to buy things from Accessorize. I mean, like, I bought a lot of stuff from Accessorize. It was my go-to place because I hadn't at that point got into the idea of buying actual vintage jewellery. And all I remember from that kind of early 2000s period was that that was the only place where I could go to get affordable, slightly vintagey looking pieces. And I look at them now and I'm just like, oh, I just buy the original now. For the most part, not all the time, you know. I will be keeping some of my little Accessorize bits and pieces. Just in case you're from the US, Accessorize, it's an accessories shop in the UK. Yeah, it just sells a wide range of jewellery and scarves and hats and socks and that kind of stuff, mainly jewellery. And I was a little bit obsessed with it in my 20s. But yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. There's just a lot of my own crap that's going on there, and I've been so thrilled with how easy it is to use, how quick it is to list, the fact that they're not taking any fees, and the fact that I've got 26 quid in the pot already. Oh, this is the other thing you'll notice on there. So with the money that I'm making from decluttering my old clothes and jewellery and accessories and bits and pieces, is I'm going to leave that sat in my Vinted pot, and I really want to buy myself, or to get, a like a work from home capsule wardrobe, because I feel that my clothing is just an absolute mess. It's such a mess. It's such a just a mixture of bits and pieces, and nothing goes together. And I'm not even sure what I feel comfortable wearing anymore, because I haven't had, I used to earn quite a lot of money. Well, I had lots of like money left over after I'd paid my bills and saved and invested and stuff. And so I used to buy new clothes regularly for work, and I just haven't been in a position to do that for ages. I now obsessively buy most things secondhand, but what I've lost sight of, this is my point, what I've lost sight of is, what do I actually enjoy wearing, and what feels like the best type of thing to wear when I work from home. So what I'm thinking is, get rid of the old stuff, build up some money, and then buy some secondhand nice clothes, have a little capsule wardrobe. And it could make quite a good vlog. Could be vlogging about that at some point in the future. And then on here, I've just put add 10 digital downloads to Etsy. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I was thinking, I don't know what the CF and the CM means, but I do. What I wanted to do was, I'm not the world's greatest artist, but I can draw little motifs and kind of come up with little patterns and little bits and pieces on Procreate on my iPad. And I thought what I might have a go at doing is, well, it's two things. The first thing is to see if I can get any of my stuff accepted onto Creative Market and or Creative Fabrica. Yeah, I thought I'd have a little go at doing that. And then the other thing I thought as well is, like, these little motifs and patterns and whatnot that I've created, could I actually sell them on Etsy with a commercial license to other people who are making KDP books using print on demand, and they're getting really confused by all of the licensing agreements that are on Canva, that are on Creative Market, that are on wherever. Whereas I could start a shop and I can sell some of these things and actually just be really clear with people. It's like, you can use this on your I'm giving you a commercial license to use this on your KDP book covers. You can use this on fabric or on bags, or have it put on mugs. You can add it to Redbubble. You can do whatever you want with it, and actually give people that extended commercial license. Yeah, so all sorts of little ideas are still buzzing around, but I've put that in miscellaneous because they're just like little oddments. They're not the main goals. The main goals then, just as a reminder before I leave you, rebrand and refocus this YouTube channel, establish a multifaceted decorative paper business, and review and reorganize my finances so that basically when I get into Q3 and into the summer, I can set some proper middle and long-term financial goals, which I will of course share with you guys at that point when we get to it. Thank you so much for listening to me, and please do, I can't believe I didn't ask you to do this earlier in the video, please do share what your goals are going to be, either for Q2 or for April specifically, in my comments. And at some point soon, you guys, we're gonna have a place where we can chat about this stuff together. But anyway, until then, leave it in my comments, and I will see you again soon in the next video.